Okay, folks, happy February, everybody. Opening up with a nice snowy week. So I thought I'd make you a video recording to help you through this last 20 lines of this translation on page 48. Although it is 20 lines, you can see that the first half of the passage is sort of shortened lines, so it's not quite as long as it sounds. But let's jump right in here. See if you can follow along as I work through this with you. Then we have Messalinas, simulacque, you remember is as soon as. Haec Epaphrodite, notice Epaphrodite in the genitive. Whereby audivet, so this is Messalinas, I think who did that thing. And then Messalinas is described with a PAP. This comes from the verb utor, which means to use or take advantage of. And the verb takes an ablative as its object. That's why we have occasione, okay, which is an opportunity. Make sure you translate usus as a participle, not a verb. Okay. Then we have this phrase, we've seen this once before, satis constat, which means it is generally agreed. And hopefully that puts in mind potential, at least, for an indirect statement, accusative infinitive construction. And lo and behold, we get one. Okay, it is generally agreed. Put your that in there. And we've got our accusative, and we've got our infinitive. Okay, and you're going to take ferociores after the verb esse, and this you'll notice is comparative, and it takes this ablative of comparison instead of a quam, which we often see. Here we have it with the ablative of comparison. The indirect statement continues with a accusative subject, nolum ducem, and a similar kind of construction with an esse, a comparative, and then a ablative of comparison. Okay. Next sentence starts right off the bat with schemos. So we may be still thinking indirect statement, and what do we get? An accusative and an infinitive. Okay. Remember your cardinal number septem. It's going to go with onus here. Okay. Ipse, remember that's the intensive, nominative singular. Okay. And this is going to refer to Agricola. Affirmat, regular present tense. And again, it's a verb, a head verb that will likely take an indirect statement, which it does. So he himself affirmat that legiones esse tam fidelis sibi, notice the reflexive pronoun, to him. How faithful or loyal are they? Ut, result clause. Posit is your verb in the result clause. He is able, and you have this infinitive here, which is a deponent verb. So you'll translate it actively, even though it looks like a passive infinitive, and it's just present. Ad hiberniam sine timore. Then we have our gerundive of obligation, coendum est nobis. Remember with this, it's the dative must verb in that construction. Quis nostrum, a little tricky here. Latin uses this frequently, this kind of pairing. Who of us nescit exemplum supiciae galbi, which go together, genitive. Okay. Omnes is your subject, but it's a we all, right? We all meminimus, and again, a head verb, accusative, rexisse, infinitive. Notice the perfect tense infinitive. Okay. And quoque provinciam septimonos. Omnes schemos, again, we all know that, galbam. Corruptum esse is your infinitive. Notice this time it's a perfect passive infinitive. Schemos again, galbam, denique bellum contra patriam suam gesisse. Perfect infinitive, this time an active one. Okay. Notice the reflexive adjective suam describing patriam, against his own fatherland or country. Num, some of you keep forgetting num. This is the surely not. Glabrio here, don't be thrown off by that. That is nominative. Cupit. And we've got the surely not. Fieri is a new verb, and we're going to look at this when we get together again soon. Very important verb. Here it's basically, it's an infinitive, and it means to become. Okay. Agricola, mea sententia, almost parenthetical here, like, and notice the case, ablative, so just use a use Frabio for that. So agricola revocandus est, laudandus est, tollendus est. That est is going to distribute through all of those gerundives, and again, must, passive, be recalled, be praised, be lifted up. Okay. Calabrio, again, in the nominatives, your subject. What did he do? He responded nihil. Why did he responded nihil? Enim. Non dubitat quem, this is given to you at the bottom, offendisset imperatorem graviter. Your subject here in the next sentence is postponed. Caeteri senatores. Okay. Secuti sunt, perfect tense, deponent verb, translated actively. And this is how they did it, alacriter, and what they did it to, the sententiam Messalini. Within autem, so something adversative. However, Domitianus, nullum signum dedit, neque audii, neque gaudii, neque invidii. All in the genitive because of signum, right? He gave no sign of these things. At last, concilio, that's his council, that's the group of guys, dimisso, ablative absolute. In atrio solus mansit. This comes from the verb manere, to stay or remain. Okay. Multa here is accusative neuter plural. And we'll say many things. What did he do to many things? Volvebat in animo. And what did these things have to do with? De glabrione atque, which is just a strong version of it, and agricola. Okay, hope that helps. You make your way through this passage. It's not an easy one, full of indirect statement, so a good exercise in that. Good luck with this one. Do the best you can, and we will reconvene Thursday.